Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades.
Welcome to Gas Masks and Hand Grenades. I'm your host, Jeff. What is happening, everybody? An afternoon edition here on a Tuesday afternoon. And I've got with me Mr. Paul Kuhr from November's Doom. I can't do it like you. Do the November's Doom. There we go. Cool. Paul, good to see you. Like we were just chatting backstage. It's been about 2 years. And I had you on here as a victim back in 2023. I took you hostage for 3 hours. We're not going to do that to you today, I promise. But
hey, man, it was fun. If I stuck around that long, I had a good time.
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. And some big news out of the ND camp, because the last time you were here, we were kind of doing a career retrospective thing, more like an intro. You know, I called those the pandemic years. I think everybody calls them the pandemic years. The whole world does. But it was kind of the pandemic sessions, I should say, where nobody was going out very much and everybody had a lot of time and everybody had time to talk about their artistry. So we kind of did a retrospective. And at that point, I guess the last album that had been out would have been Nephilim Grove, right?
Oh, yeah, at that point for sure, because this is Major Arcana is our first in 6 years. So, yeah, it would have been Nephilim Grove would be the last album we talked.
Yeah, and so, yeah, is this the widest gap? I think it's the widest gap, right?
Yeah, and that's pandemic, basically. Yeah. I mean, we put out Nephilim Grove, and we had scheduled a Australia-New Zealand tour. And 1 week later, we had to cancel the New Zealand tour because the world shut down. That was the pandemic at that point. So we never had the opportunity to go out and promote and tour or do anything on Nephilim Grove. So it was a bit crushing in the beginning there. No, we didn't. Sure. We were not interested in when the pandemic hit and lockdown, start writing an album. We had just finished an album.
Right.
So it took a while for us to. You didn't know where the world was going. You didn't know what was happening. We were all doing their own stuff. So we waited a little while until we felt ready that we were comfortable and we can put forth great material.
When did you? Do you recall when you started writing for this? Like, I mean, because I gather, if I remember correctly, it's you and Vito and Larry are kind of the writing trio that kind of, am I wrong about that? Or do you do things as a group?
No, like, mean, Larry and Vito primarily bring in the foundation of that song. They bring in the riffs, they bring in the music. Sometimes they'll present it to us as a finished thing. And the rest of the band, basically what we do, we'll listen to it. And if I have ideas, like if I hear something, I go, man, that part could be a really cool vocal. Can we double that? Maybe you think maybe we can swap this. So like if stuff like that will help arrange and see if it makes sense. But no, I don't write any of the music. I only write the lyrics and I write my vocal melodies and stuff like that. But yeah, Larry and Vito are the two geniuses behind that.
Yeah, they're the architects of the music. And so I would imagine, as a guy that plays and writes myself, I have a ton of riffs on here that they may be full realizations, like full chorus verse sections. And then I kind of, like you said, I go, oh, wait, that part really would work better with that riff idea I have from like 7 months ago. I'm hearing it, I'm listening back, and you're like, oh, these ideas correlate to each other. So I gather that's kind of, to some extent, I guess Larry and Vito probably have a massive storage of just riff ideas and things to build on.
You know, to be totally honest with you, I don't know. I mean, Larry and Vito need more interviews, man, because a lot of people ask about how this stuff, I have no clue on their process. I know Larry had just told us recently, he's already got like a few things and ideas brewing for the next. So you never know when it's going to hit, but these guys will write on their own and they'll work that stuff out and they'll figure it out. And then eventually It usually eventually will be warming up. We'll be setting up and warming up for rehearsal. And all of a sudden, someone will be playing something, and we'll
And
be
you're
like,
"Oh, what's that?"
whoa, what is that you're playing right there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's usually, and then they go, oh, what, this?
You know what? I think that's what I meant, because a lot of the times back in like the 70s, the 70s bands, they just rehearsed 7 days a week.
Right.
Before they had families, before they had kids, before they had any responsibilities, and they were kids, they were just jamming, man, right? So they're jamming all the time, and shit starts to build in the studio. You're like, yo, what was that riff you just played right there? That was killer. What is that? Oh, I don't know. It's something I'm working on. I've been dicking around with, and then it builds. Somebody throws a drum riff in, somebody throws a harmony guitar part in. Before you know it, you got this.
If they're genuinely warming up and someone's playing a riff and they're like, oh, I don't know, I just came up with this on the spot. That's when I grab the phone, I record it. I'm like, okay, I remember that one because that's really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Oftentimes I come up with some of those things where I'm like, oh man, if I don't record this now, I'm never going to remember how to play this.
Right.
So and a lot of the shit that I write, Paul, is on acoustic. And I know if it sounds killer on acoustic, it's going to sound way better on electric when I start throwing, distortion and pedals and all that kind of stuff on. So, okay, so what we're here to talk about is Major Arcana, and I did one screw up, and I apologize. Let me do this real fast here. Let me pull up the trusty Metallum, and I'm going to pull up November's Doom, because I don't have a copy of the album yet, obviously. I have the promo.
Gotcha.
But I don't have a physical copy to show yet because it's not out.
We just got them. Actually, I had them. We started selling them early at Prog Power.
You have one on you?
I can grab it.
Yeah, grab one real quick. We'll show everybody the physical product.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that. I totally forgot my setup for to show the album. So we'll get Paul up here in a second with an actual physical. And while we're at it, and I got a second, Friday afternoon or Friday morning at 11 a.m. here on Gas Mask, I've got the legendary Frank Marino is coming, of Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. He's going to be joining me Friday at 11 a.m. So stay tuned for that. All right, we got something?
Yeah. So we got
ooh, nice. I'll blow you up here.
The double gatefold vinyl.
Very nice. Major Arcana, and it's on Prophecy Productions. It comes out next Friday.
Yes, officially on the 19th. So
19th, okay.
Double vinyl.
Nice.
Lyrics, all the goods. So that's the vinyl. Comes in 2 editions. There is a standard black vinyl edition, and this would be the gold marble. Yeah, okay.
Oh, so nice.
The gold marble is the
oh, that's pretty. I'll have to look and grab one of those.
Yeah. So,
and then there's a media book, if I'm not correct, like a 36-page media book.
I'm going to show you that next.
Oh, you got that? Cool. Okay. And then the standard CD, I guess, right?
Yes. The only thing I don't have in front of me to show are the tarot card decks. They are the one I have left is out in my shop. I don't have them in the house because they go quickly.
And that's like with a special box set sort of arrangement, right?
It is. It comes, but we're also selling them individually now as well.
Okay.
So there are plenty of opportunities for people just to buy the tarot deck if they want to.
Yeah, and we'll get into that with regards to how that relates to the album and everything. Oh, nice. Okay.
Your standard CD. There's a booklet that comes with it in here.
Now, do I have you mirrored? Are you backwards, like looking at your view? Do you look backwards?
Yes.
Is that?
Now I look.
There we go. All right. Okay. I was seeing I never know what's going on there. Okay. So, those are like the Agalloch books, the really nice Eisenwald, big oversized, like 10-inch size, right?
Prophecy does this for everybody, all their bands.
Yeah.
So yeah, Agalloch, they put stuff on Prophecy, they get one of these. So
yeah, I think Alcest has done these.
We have a Nephilim Grove one like this, and
really
it's
nice.
Just you get the CD.
Yeah.
You get like it's lyrics. It's let me see if I can get
like
it.
A lyric sheet. Yeah, like a whole lyric sheet.
There it is, because now I'm reversed. So yeah, we have it's lyrics, it's artwork, and what I went ahead and did in this is you get a lyrical explanation of every song in this edition. So that's a little.
Oh, okay.
Just for this, you get the explanation of everything. So now
cool.
when people say, "What's that song about?" I go, "You gotta buy the."
Gotta buy the big book. Yeah, right. Well, those are nice, except for one thing. They kind of fuck up your shelving thing when you're doing CDs at the standard size. Then you got to have bigger gaps in your shelving system or something.
Hey man,
right?
we got to stand out, right?
That's
we got to
right.
stand out somehow.
Got to be different, right? Okay, so let's talk about Major Arcana again. We just mentioned it's been almost 7 years. I think. Well, no, 6 years, right?
Yeah, about 6. Yeah.
When did you start tracking?
We tracked everything in this past November, October and November.
Okay.
I believe we started in October. We went into November, and then it was mixed and mastered and everything. The album was complete early December of last year.
Oh, really? That long ago? Wow.
The artwork took me forever because a couple artists that I originally had working for me took up time and then pulled the plug, said they couldn't do it. So they left me kind of in a jam, and I needed huge this time. I needed an entire tarot deck designed. That's like 100 images alone. And then I needed I needed a lot. So I knew the undertaking, and I couldn't like demand this stuff from somebody like overnight. I had to let them work and just take the process.
Who did the artwork then? Mention who?
That is, you know what? Let me, cause I think he likes to be announced by his company,
his art name, right?
More than his name. Yeah. So let me not do that to him. Let me give the correct,
and I take it this is someone you not worked with before?
No, he stepped up for me when I reached out and said, "Hey, we need," because I had 2 guys prior and they both dropped the ball, and unfortunately, I was desperate, and I said, "Look, because now I've lost part of my budget, you know." So yeah, it was a plea for help on the internet, saying, "But guys, artist, I need it in this style. It's a big undertaking. If you're interested, let me know. But trust me, you're going to be insulted when you hear how much money I have to offer."
Oh,
yeah, I knew it was insulting. I knew it was. And I said that straight up. I'm like, I know as an artist, this is going to be insulting, but it is all we have in the budget.
That's the tough part with you're not a band that tours regularly and brings, has a touring cycle that's bringing a lot of income in to keep the coffers full. So you are kind of really limited by budget constraints, right?
Right. So the artist is, man, and this font now, I can't read this damn letter. It's either SJRX art or STRX art. He's out of Italy.
Okay.
He's out of Italy. And he did. Man, I know I frustrated him. I apologized to him. It's like it was so stressful and so much. And then it got to the point where we thought we were finished. And I went, oh no, there's still this much more. And it was just,
oh no.
it took a long time. Everybody stayed patient. Everyone was good. And hopefully at the end, everyone's happy with the final result, because it was a big part of the holdup for a long time.
A big undertaking. I'm going to pull this up. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Is it blown up? Because I can't look at both screens at the same time.
Yeah, it's blown up.
All right, there we go. So a lot of ornate sort of, I guess you almost call it kind of Grecian, perhaps Grecian sort of vibe to it.
Absolutely.
Is this the Minotaur, I'm assuming?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so kind of go through what your concepts, because you envision, or you not envision, you do a lot of the artwork in terms of conceptualizing. I guess conceptualizing was the word I was looking for. What are the concepts of the album? Kind of from what I've read in the press release, it kind of relates to the tarot, which you've been referencing a couple times here. So I'll let you dig into that, and divination. So what are we? give me some ideas of what we're talking about here, because I've in listening, I only had lyrics to one song, which was
okay.
Yeah, so I really don't know the lyrical content after 4 or 5 listens. I don't have all the lyrics down in my head clearly.
Absolutely.
You know,
So what had happened was I decided when it was time for me to start writing the lyrics to this, I decided I wanted to go even more personal than I have. So the entire album I wrote about my struggle with mental illness over the last 6 years. And so a lot of songs are about different things, and I gave faces to different things. I gave anxiety a face, and I gave depression a face, and I have songs about these things. And as I was explaining to my wife what each song was going to be about, she was the one who was drawing the connections between what the song was about and a tarot card.
wow.
And she's like, "Oh, that sounds like, the tower." And that sounds like, and I'm like, I'm not even going to pretend I know nothing about this stuff. She does. So we sat down, she explained things to me, and I know a little bit more than I did. And
Right.
it really made sense. It was kind of cool the way it was all like kind of flowing. So we came up with the idea, let's design an entire deck. And the cover. Okay. So in Major Arcana means the major cards, the first half of the deck, basically. And it goes from 0 to 21. And that is what's called your Major Arcana. We added the 22nd card. And that's what the cover is. We created another card in the deck, because every card you can pull could be a positive or a negative, depending on how it's pulled. We wanted a card that was just negative. No matter what you did, you're screwed with that card. So
right.
we made the Doom card.
That's the Doom card. Okay.
Doom. The 22nd.
You're doomed to be beaten by a minotaur with a spiked axe.
It's picture the Minotaur. I went through, nothing against the artist whatsoever. I love the job. I had the hardest time conveying to these artists what I actually was envisioning for the cover. It's really hard to have a picture and get it across, to somebody else's brain.
Right.
So the idea was always the Minotaur, for example, in this is a devastating mental illness, and he is finally broke, and he's finally beaten you, and it's you can't take it. It's
prostrate.
You're done fighting.
Yeah,
you're done fighting. And I think we had a couple covers before this one, and we tried like a big skeletal like monster in the woods creeping over someone, and it was all these kind of things like that, and that started looking more like a 90s graphic novel cover.
Okay.
So we went through a lot of different renditions to come up with something that was going to work. And if you look at that artwork from the original tarot, it does have that very Greek, that look to it. So we went with that, and then we created an entire deck using the original tarot card artwork, but we replaced characters with, like, we have the Scarecrow from Pale Haunt is in a bunch of these cards, and the Nephilim Grove is in a bunch of these cards, and the Faceless Man is from To Welcome the Fade. We have all of our cover characters are represented in all of these.
Oh, nice.
Cards.
That might be a good reason for like serious November Doom fans to want to pick one of these sets up. Then, yeah,
absolutely. And it comes with a VIP card in the deck.
Okay.
And when you have that VIP card, we'll announce like before a show or something like that if we're coming to your town, because we would clearly have to clear this with the club every time. But we want to give you, if you're gonna support us and you're gonna buy this from us, we're giving back, and that will get you in early to see a sound check, to hang out with the band.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna get you access to merch before anybody else, things like that. So yeah, it could be a fun little card in there if you buy the deck.
And by the way, all of the links are in the description for the video for ordering, pre-ordering, all the November's Doom links, Facebook, Bandcamp, all that kind of good stuff. Just to throw that out there. One of the questions I had for you, though, you said Major Arcana relates more to, I guess, the tarot, the first 21 cards. But one of the things in looking up Major Arcana, I came up with a description of greater secrets as a translation. And I'm kind of curious. It doesn't sound like maybe that had any relation, but in a strange, weird sort of way, in the fact that you've been very open about your struggles throughout the years. And I think we talked quite a bit about that in our first interview, because I struggled with anxiety, still struggle with it. I just have it more under control than I've ever had under control in my life. And it was very devastating to me in my 20s and 30s. Like, it put me in a really, really bad place. Probably crushed my earning power, because I couldn't and wouldn't take jobs because of the fear of the stress and the sleepless nights and not being able to measure up and not being able to perform. So instead, I stayed in a 50K job than taking the 125K job, which would have made major life changes. But that's how the disease manipulated me in a lot of ways, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I'm curious, you could kind of say that Major Secrets kind of has a correlation to mental illness in a lot of ways.
I believe that, absolutely, because this is something that I think more people suffer with than want to admit, and that's the hard part. And people need to be open about it. And
coming out about it is a struggle. It's a scary thing to do, to expose yourself to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? The last 6 years of my life with all COVID, it's when I really I hit my rock bottom. I hit my worst, and that ended up in a psychiatric ward for a week. I hit rock bottom, and I needed help. So I learned through therapy and everything and all of that through these years that I've held myself back my entire life by caring about what other people thought of me, my persona, and my metal cred was always like on the front of my mind. Like, you're trying to be in a metal band, you gotta be that guy. And I was never that guy. That's not, it was a persona. It's something you put on for a reason. And I kind of defined myself my entire life as that. And that's not, like, it's really not. I don't really listen to much metal. It's just not my lifestyle. And people are like, oh, why don't you see at more shows and more things like that? It's like, because I'd rather be home and with my dogs, and I mean, it's
family. And yeah, you're also a huge Star Wars nerd. I mean, come on, man. Like, you're very much into that.
I couldn't admit that. I mean, coming up through all those years and all that, God forbid you'd have been slammed for liking nerdy stuff. Yeah. It was the judgment growing up at the time in the metal scene that
fear of it
was it. Yeah, it really kind of controlled things. And now I look back and I go, man, pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And I see people my age and they're still like trying to like be that guy. And it's like, were you ever really that guy? Or is that the guy you want us to see? I don't know. I go with when I think about this.
I love the gatekeeper shit. I mean, it's like, dude, like what you want to like. Don't try. Just don't be a dick. My motto in life is try not to be a dick unless there's a good reason to be a dick. Then you can be a dick. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, the Star Wars things changed my life. We got into the 501st. My wife and I, even my bass player, Mike, he's in the 501st. We got his kit approved.
I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry. The 501st Legion, we're part of the Midwest Garrison. And the 501st Legion is all across the globe, and it is separated in territories. The only way to get in is your Star Wars costume from head to toe has to be movie perfect. You have to be able to put this thing on and walk on a movie set, and no one will be able to tell that your kit is not. So that's the kind of passion and detail that goes into every one of these kits. So I built my Mandalorian armor from head to toe. I built my wife's Bo-Katan from head to toe. I built Mike, our bass player, his AT-AT driver from head to toe. Got them all approved. So yeah, we go to hospitals and we go to charity events and
that's awesome, man.
Visit the kids. It's all about the kids. It's about putting smiles on faces and raising money for charity.
Yeah, and you showed a bunch of that stuff when our first interview we did. You showed all the really detailed, incredibly well. You just said it, studio quality costuming that you do, and that's like way beyond what I like the movies, they're cool, but it's not, I don't have that level of nerdery for it. But you know what I do have the nerdery for? Last night I was cleaning my bedroom and doing laundry after like a month and a half. It was like, man, I had to get laundry done, right? And I'm, you said I don't listen to that much metal. And I do listen to a lot of metal. I mean, I listen to a lot of various type musics, but you know what I was jamming last night, the whole night? This will show you how fucking metal I am right here. That's what I was listening to all last night.
Man, you can't survive on. I shouldn't say I don't listen to metal. I certainly don't listen to metal exclusively.
Right. Yeah.
I am more often listening to like, see, for me, I listen to singer-songwriter, coffee shop. My love of music is as stripped down. I can sit there and listen to someone sing a cappella all day long. I love the emotion, and when the music is stripped down and you can hear every crackle in that voice and every quiver of that guitar, just like a guitar and a vocal or a piano and a vocal, man, that is music in its purity for me.
Do you know
I love that kind of stuff?
Do you know Marissa Nadler? You ever checked her out?
No, I do not. I'm
going to grab that album before we leave and make a recommendation to you, because she's very much in the vein of what you're saying. I would call her like doom folk. Oh. It's very doomy. It's Chelsea Wolfe, Emma Ruth Rundle-ish, but ish. Those are kind of the three. I call them the doom chanteuses. They're the kind of I love that stuff, man. Where it's just like mostly just a finger-picked Travis guitar, acoustic guitar with some maybe a little pedal steel or some real haunting. But you gotta check out Marissa, man, because I think you'll dig her a lot. She's just put out a new album called New Radiations last month, and it's absolutely fantastic. So, but I do listen to a lot of metal, and I listen to November's Doom. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Paul. The last album I bought by you guys was, I think it was Aphotic. I've missed Hamartia. Was Bled White its own thing, or was that a reissue of something?
No, it was its own thing.
All right, so I think I might have missed Bled White too. And it's not for I have everything else. I have everything from the beginning.
I get it. I totally get it. There's so much out there. It's ridiculous.
You're being literally inundated. I mean, you can look at it two ways. With the advent of digital recording, it made it easier for anyone that has an idea and a laptop to kind of record an album almost, right? Sort of.
Yeah.
But what it does is, particularly with any genre, but particularly with metal, is, man, it really opened up floodgates to just an excessive amount of shit coming into the ecosphere, right? And you literally can't keep up with it. It's impossible. Even if you want to keep up with maybe like your favorite one or two bands that you're like, oh, you hang on every thing that's going on. But my favorite band is Rush, and they are done. They stopped being a band 10 years ago. So
right.
So I don't have to chase them around anymore, but it's all the other stuff that I'm like, all right, what? And so I didn't really catch up. I'm pretty sure I checked out Amartia and wait, what was the next one after that?
Oh man, this is over. I don't know.
Mandrake or Nephilim Grove? What was
All right, so it was all right, I think it was Larry. Larry knows this stuff.
Yeah, so it was Aphotic, Bled White, Hamartia, and then Nephilim
Grove,
and then the new one.
Yes.
Am I missing something there about Mandrake?
Mandrake.
There wasn't a Mandrake.
No, that's not us.
You guys. All right, that's some other band. I got confused.
I got to look it up, man.
I think I'm right. I think I'm right on that.
I see that. I'm so bad. My memory is so terrible.
And I'm pretty certain that I checked out the last 2 or 3 November's Doom's album, but I don't think I was like, oh, I got to grab it right away. You know what I mean? And that's not a condemnation of the material. It was just like, it might have been a headspace I was in at the time where I was like, yeah, I got the best of these guys. You know what I mean? I think I'm good. But go ahead. Do you have
it was you're right. It was
Bled White, Hamartia, Nephilim.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So those are the 3 I've kind of missed. And as far as picking up, I have everything else, the originals. And as I think I told you when we first talked, I came in on Welcome to the Fade. A buddy of mine said, hey man, you got to check these guys out, because we were big into Opeth. We were big into you know, that whole thing. And we talked about the Opeth, you know, November's Doom sort of, you know, the thing that you don't want to talk about, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's they're just copying Opeth, and you know, whatever. We don't need to dig into that. You guys have a long established career, and it's got some super high points.
I get it. People heard of one band and not another one, and then all of that. Oh, yeah, they're just copy. It's like, okay,
it's always the same thing. I mean, if you really want to get into it, I guess every band copied Merciful Fate and fucking Bathory then, so, or Venom and Motorhead or whatever. It's always that. Who are they copying and who are they sound like and all that kind of stuff to sell it.
right?
And every band wants to believe that they're wholly, entirely original, but we all steal from what we listen to. We have to. There's no other way to, know what I mean?
Very, very few bands in history that are absolutely original, that you can go and pinpoint, there it is. That's where it started. You know, it's because usually right around the same time, people feel something new, and then they're going to quickly try to jump on that and do it as well. So then it's a race to the bottom, more or less.
Yeah, it kind of is. You're kind of right about that. That's a good way to put it. But I think what I heard in this new album, which I think is, I don't want to say it's a new twist because it's not an entirely new thing. What I said in my notes here, and I said it in my little press thing when I put out the, you know, the press or the thing on Instagram, was the one thing that November's Doom is really, really good at sounding like is November's Doom. You guys have a sound, you have a vibe. You can say, oh yeah, there's the Opeth part, or there's the over part, or there's whatever, but you can say that with every single band out there for the most part, right? And so what I really found was, one, this really sounds like a really cohesive November's Doom album, and what you do best, which is progressive. And by progressive, I don't mean like wanky prog music, which I love a lot of. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care. But it's more progressive in that it's not just the same riff in every song. It's not the same. It's not the same four riffs. You get, you know, like AC/DC, God love them. I love them. But they have four songs. It's this song, and every song that sounds like it's this song, and every song that sounds like it, you know, it's the Hell's Bells. What songs sound like it's the For Those About to Rock, which under canon sounds like it. You guys, each song has some very similar threads to it, but they all sound very different. And what I really heard on this song, on this album, Paul, is you guys got some fucking earworm choruses going on here, man. You got some real, almost, dare I say, Major Arcana has kind of a poppy chorus in it. I know, man. The death knell of.
I made some changes this time, man.
I mean, that whole part. This has gone too far, and you just, when you layer that and step it up, there's some of your best clean vocals I think you've ever done, and you've always been a very dynamic vocalist in that you can do these crushing but very understandable death growls, because I've never had to struggle to hear what you're saying lyrically. I can always understand it's very obvious, and yet you have one of the fucking gnarliest growls ever, right? But then you can really do the clean thing fantastically. And on this album, I'm really hearing some incredible freaking earworms, man, especially in the clean department. Talk a little bit about that.
Starting out the writing process for this, the guys had they were into the music and writing long before I was mentally there. I was still really struggling at that point with, like, when I originally tried to start writing this record, I didn't think this was ever going to happen. I'm being totally honest with you. I was traveling to different places to try to find a new area to sit down and write, to have a fresh, and I absolutely could not. The mental illness. So the problem is when I write, I have to go to like the darkest places of my brain. And I spent the last 6 years learning how to not go there anymore. And then I have to sit down and write an album. It's time to go there. So unfortunately, that's you don't have much of a choice when it comes to that. So You might have frozen up on me, or I froze up on you.
There he is. Okay.
Hey, I broke off. I
Yeah,
was going to say I'm talking.
We lost
I'm like,
connection entirely. It just zipped. So you were saying you were trying to find a spot to get in the headspace to work on this, but the mental illness was really kicking your ass.
yeah, you spent all that time to stay away from that place, and then you have to write lyrics, and I have to go there.
Right.
So, you know, it becomes very difficult. So I was not in a place that I was accepting of the music. I mean, they demoed and they sent me the whole album of all the music and a couple other songs. And listening to it, I dismissed it. I was like, because my head wasn't there. I'm listening to it and I'm going, man, this is all terrible. None of this is good. Why even bother? I can't put words to this. All the frustration was on me because I just couldn't get there. And then I had to sit down with my family and I had to talk with my family, and because they know what I'm going to go through when I do it. And I know, you
mean
not proud, but
trauma?
I used a lot
of trauma aspect, like re-traumatizing yourself in a weird way.
I have to go back and relive a lot of that stuff so I can get the details again, so I can sit down and write. So the things that you're purposely trying to suppress, you have to face head on. And then sometimes even more than that. So I wasn't ready to do that. So I was like dismissive on it. That's my closer friends. I'm like, I don't think there's going to be another record, man, because I can't do this shit anymore. And eventually when I got, permission from my family, it's okay. We understand, do what you need to do. And it was a little easier to come by. And then when I was able to relax and be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I know what this means. Then I started hearing the brilliance in these songs. I had a block. I didn't want to hear them. I did not want them to be good. I think I wanted the music to be terrible so I can call it.
You could say, nah, I'm not into it anymore. Yeah.
And these guys, man, they wrote magic. And I started listening to it. I'm like, okay, all right. I like that. And as each time I'm like, my God, this is actually fantastic. And it inspired me. And it inspired me at that point to say, okay, these guys have upped their game. I gotta meet it. I gotta up my game. So I added in that new, we call it a new vocal style for me, of that fry scream kind of vocal, like old Linkin Park and stuff like that. And no one knew I can sing like that. I never let anybody know. I mean,
you knew you could do that, or didn't you?
And I've been doing that in my car since I was 16 years old, driving around. It was always just for me. I knew I can scream like that. I knew I can, but it wasn't until now when I'm listening to this music, and I took the first two things I sent the guys were the chorus of Mercy, and then the hook, the chorus of Major Arcana, where it's that 3-step level up to the high scream. And I sent those to those guys, and Larry instantly he said, oh, dude, yeah, man, do it.
Yeah.
Go for it. I think he's been trying to push me into more of that kind of direction for a while, which is funny because it's coming back to my original kind of inspiration, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, no one really knew I can do it. So I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to really focus on melody and harmony. And I approached every aspect of the vocal as if you were writing the hook of the song. I'm like, I'm going to make it all a hook. I'm going to try to make the hook even the verses. I'm going to try to make every single thing as interesting as I possibly can.
And it definitely, you mentioned Mercy. That's another one that has a really big chorusy earworm sort of chorus that, it's a pretty powerfully melancholic song, very emotive. It's a beautiful track. And I think if that's the one thing I hear on this album, to say that was never there before would be a complete lie. I don't think that's really true. I think you've always been a very melodic, clean singer, which I think set you apart. Like you and Michael from Opeth, hate to bring Opeth up again, but that was the one thing that always made me go, man, Opeth's kind of cut above everybody else, because Mike can do that crushingly dank, he was, to me, he was the death metal singer of the early 2000s. I mean, he was the guy. And you were probably right there as well. Both you guys both had that ability to go into a clean chorus and make it, poppy's the wrong word, but it gave it melody and it gave it tunefulness that made you want to drag you back in to listen to it again and again. I mean, there's only so much, there's only so much that I can listen to before I tune out, because it's kind of like, all right, there's nothing here that my brain wants to latch onto as an earworm. But so you guys were even doing this way back when. I remember from songs from Welcome to the Fade that kind of dragged me in. And I was like, oh, this guy can really sing powerfully as a clean vocalist in addition to the death growl. But this album might be one of the, whereas on some of the other albums like Aphotic or Into the Night's, what's it called? Infernal Requiem?
Into Night's Requiem, Inferno, or
sorry, my dyslexia there. Very little clean on a lot of that. That's almost, those are fairly mostly death metal, 80-20. Whereas here, I would say it's pretty 50-50, maybe even 60-40 in terms of more clean than death. And, Ravenous is probably, I would say that's the most Aphotic-like song. Because I think Aphotic, to me, is probably your gnarliest, heaviest album, like in terms of just pure nasty fucking crushing death metal. That's, to me, was your high point for the death metal. Pale Haunt, as you know, this isn't any secret to you, is probably what everyone feels was like your creative moment, right? Okay.
It was the change for us, for sure.
And I still love that album. When I go back to it, it's like, whoa, man, it's like putting on a real nice, comfortable pair of old shoes. You go, yeah, this is it. This is the spot, the sweet spot right here. And every band has it. You can't, for me, Rush's sweet spot was Hemispheres, or that era of the very early 80s, the Permanent Waves, those things. They put out a lot of great albums afterwards, but those are the albums I always want to go back to. But this one, man, it's got some drawing power. I listened to it like 5 straight times in a row, and I was digging it more and more each time. And I'm like, oh, there's that part. Yeah, that's cool. But Ravenous, again, that's like a monster staccato riff machine, man. That is just, and you've got some gnarly stuff going on there with your vocals. The dance, man, super cool Floydian intro, kind of echoesy almost in a weird way. That drifting sort of spacey prog rocky sort of vibe to that. But then it gets into that really, really cool Highlander Celtic guitar riff, that down, and you're like, okay, this is a little different. This is not something I recall hearing on prior November's Doom stuff. I mean, when you're hearing something like that, I don't know who presented that song to you, but what are you thinking? You're like, whoa, man, that's got like, movie cinema sort of vibes to it, right?
If I had to guess, I think that was Larry. If I had to guess, Larry's Vito's more of that tight, chuggy riff.
Yeah, that's
Larry's got the flowy, they're kind of more on opposite ends like that when they present. So I would have to guess that riff.
That's what I would have speculated based on what I know of the guy's playing style. So Vito does seem to be the more skull crushing.
He's so good at it. Right? It's tight. He's so tight. And the combination of the two are perfect, because you always have that rhythm really down tight, and you still get that flowy kind of atmosphere from Larry. It's just a brilliant
the dance
combo.
has, again, another big killer heavy chorus that's really tuneful and earwormy. And then we get to the Fool, which is, man, dude, that my favorite part of the whole album, though, is in the Fool. Can you figure out what line I'm going to say? Do you know what I'm going to say?
I'm not sure.
The best part of the album for me is when you do the wretch, and that has that trailing wretch.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I didn't want to say it. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. When my mental, I knew it had to be different. And truthfully, what I'm singing about, personally, for me, I needed it to sound like it was a
It
regurgitation.
Yeah.
Like I was throwing up that it's kind of like I really want it to sound
like it's totally disgusting and vile. I need to extricate it from my sphere, right? You know, and that's what it sounds like. And it's just so on beat, and that's probably a Vito song, man, because it's got that and maybe not. Okay.
I don't know. I don't, because Larry, I mean, Ravenous was.
I should have got all three of you guys on here. That would have been fun, man. We'll have to maybe do that at some point.
Absolutely, we need to do that.
Yeah, as a guitar player, I love to connect with the guitar players on the writing thing because I want to steal secrets from them. I want to steal ideas. Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Man, do this again.
I'll tell you what, my favorite song on the album, though, without question, is Bleed Static, man. That song fucking is killer. Very proggy, very progressive metal, very Fates Warning-y. It's very brooding and kind of melancholic, and it's the ballad, but it ain't no pretty ballad. It's no Alone Again about, you know, this. And I want to get it. I do want you to comment maybe on each track where your head was at, as far as if you want to share that with regards to these concepts of mental illness that you struggle with. But I just wanted to kind of run through these tracks. But man, that middle, you got that really mystical Middle Eastern tonalities in the Bleed Static, and some of the best guitar work I think is on this song, man. There is some sick ass lead playing on this song. It's so good, man. It's so good,
man. Thank you very much. Yeah, Larry's leads on this album, it's some of the best stuff he's ever laid down. I think, in my opinion, at the moment, that solo in Mercy is one of the most beautiful things he's ever written. My God. And I every time I hear it, it gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. And I say that it was such the perfect solo for that emotional song. It said all the words I couldn't say. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely
what you
brilliant.
really want as a guitarist. That's what you're always looking for, is to convey some emotional feeling with the notes that your note choices. You know what I mean? It's not.
He nails it, man, because it's goosebumps every time I hear it. He nails
his leads are. Is it always Larry on leads, or do they trade off?
Larry's pretty much the lead guitar player. He has more of the flowy kind of feel for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he's got a little better control of the lead playing. Vito is he's so good at being tight.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, the guys.
Speaking of tightness, there's a lot of tight moments on this album. I mean, there's some just crushing riffs, that's a November's Doom thing. You guys have always had crushing riffs going all the way back to Welcome, or maybe even The Knowing. I mean, there was that kind of thing, and you guys always kind of were, in a weird way, you were kind of, I guess, in some respects, because when you started, the first two albums were very gothic-y. They were a lot, I think, quite a bit different from where The Knowing started to take you, in terms of, like, that was the big springboard moment to go out into the big world as a prog death band, right? You know, when that was kind of happening.
Yeah, I always say our first two records, I look at them and they're complete bullshit to me. The lyrics are all just nonsense. I made shit up that I thought people wanted to hear. You know, I didn't. There's
some good music there. Don't kick yourself in the ass about it.
I mean, I'm proud of everything.
Band. It became a different band after those first two albums.
I think when we started to realize more where we can take the music, and we weren't so pigeonholed, and we were allowed to experiment more. And that's why we never, if you notice, from album 1 to album 12, no two albums are exactly alike, but our steps are gradual. We'll add a little something, because we've noticed if you overdo it and you give the crowd or your fan base something completely foreign and out of the ordinary, it startles them, and then they hate it. And this band, I don't know what happened to them. They suck now. We didn't want that. We wanted to show a gradual progression of the things we wanted to add in. And I think that was kind of the key on how we feel anyway. Our albums only get better and better and better. And like a lot of bands hit their peak, and then they just keep repeating the same album for the rest of their career. And boring. We'll never do that.
Yeah, or you could be like, I mean, thankfully you're not somebody like, Lars and James aren't going to come on here, so I'm not real worried about this, but like Metallica, who was such a pivotal band to all of us guys our age, right? I mean, I think I'm a little bit older than you, but I mean, the reality is that in 1983, 84, I'm getting out of high school, and those are critical transitional albums from the new wave of British heavy metal stuff, from the Priest and the Maiden and the Saxons and stuff like that, which was what I was listening to all through high school, and the Bon Jovis and the Dawkins, because I came from the hair metal era. I'm not gonna hide from that. The Rats, I love that shit, right? I still like some of it. Most of it I don't like anymore, but I do like some of it. But
see, and that's what I'm talking about. Back in the day, as metal, if you liked that stuff, you better not tell your death.
You better not. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So lame.
Yeah, I was kind of lucky in that I was a long hair metal dude, and I played in some bands back then, so nobody kind of fucked with me on my cred when I was like, yeah, I like listening to Metallica, but I also like Poison. I like that one Poison album or whatever. It's like I didn't get it, but you're right. You didn't want to go. You had to be careful who you opened yourself up to about that out in the public, right? If you were listening to the Bather and you said, yeah, man, but do you have Don't Look What the Cat Dragged In, bro? Like, you're going to be like, what? What the hell's the matter with you, man? Let's beat this guy up, So,
absolutely.
But I think the one thing that is, again, it comes back to what I said with November's Doom, is that you guys don't repeat yourself, but you don't ever become confused that it's like you never did a Cold Lake, or you never did something of that nature where you suddenly went. And I want to make sure people know this is not some kind of pop record. Just because I said the choruses have some almost like earworm ability where you actually, it's in your head. This is not a Poison album. Okay. Just to be clear. Okay. Talk a little bit about some of these tracks and maybe like highlight some of the ones you want to point out to that you want to speak to about what they mean to you, and then we'll get you out of here within the hour or so.
The overall album, we had a hard time. See, Larry and I, we're the old school guys, so we sit down and the two of us are the ones who put like the order together, because we feel that it's important to tell a story from beginning to end. We're not a single band. We don't put out a single here or there. We want you to listen to the album and in its entirety. That's that hardly ever happens, but we still look at it that way. And we have followed the Metallica rule of thumb since the very beginning, and we always view our list as if it's a vinyl, side A, side B. So you start out side A with a strong song. You go by song 3 is your ballad, and then you start out with another strong side on side B to start, and then you end with the big epic closer. So we've always had kind of the similar formula going along with all the albums, and we kind of feel it works for us. This was difficult because any song on this record could be in any spot on this record, and we couldn't decide. And it's the first time we've ever struggled with this, and it sounds ridiculous, but we talking about what video to do or what's going to be the first 3 singles, or everyone had a different opinion constantly. It's like, and then when we all started to, it's not like we were arguing, we'd start talking and everyone would go, well, I think Major Arcana should be the one. And someone else would go, man, I was kind of thinking the Dance because this and this. And everyone would go,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And then someone would go, well, what about Chatter? And we're like, yeah, we can do something.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone made sense. So it was difficult to pick, all the singles and the order. So June was always meant, the first song on the album, we decided to start with June. And it's I guess it was going to be like a 2-minute interlude somewhere. And we just turned it into, we thought it would be a beautiful way to start this record.
Right. Yeah.
So it's something a little different. It starts with this really soft 2-minute kind of depressing ballad called June. And then it blasts right in a Major Arcana. And I think we did that as the first single because it's got like the biggest vocal change. I think it's got that really high fry on that. So we wanted to get that in and out of the way.
Plus, it's definitely I think it's, and I don't think you'd probably disagree. I think it's probably the strongest hook song, as far as the hook is very, from not only the verses are hooky, but then you get to the pre-chorus, and then you get into the chorus, which is that 3-part ascending sort of vocal piece, and with you topping out in this. Whoa, I don't think I've ever heard Paul quite do that before. And it is a song that, honestly, if it didn't have death growls in it, it probably would be. It could be a radio song. It's also 6+ minutes long, which makes it kind of hard to do. But there is no radio anyways. So go ahead. Sorry.
Right. Absolutely. Major Arcana is probably lyrically the big sum up of it all. It's not about one specific thing. It's more a song about me navigating my way through all of the different things. So that's pretty much that's the most generic way I can describe that song. It's me navigating my way through all the different mental illness and things that I
is that why you used the line, "This has gone too far," to say like, enough, I got to get control of this shit?
Yeah, there's a lot of metaphors throughout the whole record with things like that, for sure.
I get it, man. Been there.
Ravenous is Ravenous is a difficult one to explain. And everyone's going to have a different meaning on it. And I like that about this song particularly. So everyone asks, well, what's Ravenous about? And I go, it could be about what the video is. It could be about like a cult and a killer. It can be about a cannibal, a serial killer. It can be, I could have taken one of my mental illnesses and made it into this monster. And that's what's ravenous, trying to just eat you from the inside and devour. I mean, it could be about anything. It could be about nothing or none of those at all. It could be, it could be about my wife. You have no idea what that song's about. And I love the fact that everyone's going to take a different interpretation.
It's ambiguous, but it's universal at the same time.
Yeah. Some people will see it as a positive song, and many will see it as a negative song. That's up to you to decipher what I'm talking about.
But it seems to me we may have, I don't know if I spoke to you about it or Halm. It might have been Halm. But speaking of Ravenous, have you seen the movie Ravenous?
No.
Paul, you got to stream Ravenous. I want to say 2009-ish, about the civil. I'm not going to give it all away, but about these Civil War dudes traveling. I think they were from the South, I believe, or maybe it was the South and the North running into each other. And they do some depraved fucking shit. You have to watch this movie. It is fucking killer, man. Go on a stream it. I'm going to send you a link to it or something like that to remind you of it, because it ties in with one of the lyrical things that you brought up, cannibalism.
Yeah.
Go
all
figure.
Right, I will definitely check that.
And I didn't even really think of that until you said the name a couple times. I'm like, wait a minute, the movie. So you didn't write about it because you didn't see it, but when you see the movie, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, no way! Like this was like, it'll really hit you. I guarantee you'll probably drop me an email going, dude, I totally get where you were coming from on this. So check that out. All right, go ahead.
We get to Mercy, is song 4. Mercy is the most personal and emotional one for me on the record. I have always had a very unnatural fear of death. It's like I freeze me, keep me alive forever. I don't give a shit. I don't ever want to. Thinking about closing my eyes and never opening them again terrifies me.
Well, can I ask you a question there? A very personal question. Yeah. If you don't want to answer it, that's fine. And I don't remember if we talked about this before, but I, like you, have had an unnatural fear of death all my life as a kid. And I had, I actually almost died as a baby. I was in the hospital with my first, after 6 weeks, I got spinal meningitis, which was very dangerous back then. Still dangerous now. but I got it as an infant and spent 6 or 8 weeks in the hospital as an infant. I don't, of course, remember this, but you know, my parents are like, yeah, it was touch and go whether you were going to live or not. I was brought up in a Roman Catholic family, so all the guilt, all the, you know, all that stuff. But my mom was
Me
never
too.
a churchy person. We did the Christmas, the Christmas holiday, maybe Easter, something like that, but it was never a
Kinda
my
what we
my
were.
mom was never devout, but my grandmother traveled to Rome to see the Pope in the 70s, the whole 9 yards, right? Very devout, very into it. My dad's side of the family, my grandmother was very devout. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist. I can't get around it. I've tried a million times to see how I could latch in. Of course, there's that one little sliver of me that goes, but what if I'm wrong?
Then you're not an atheist, because I used to say the exact same thing. I used to say I was an atheist. You're agnostic. Agnostic is basically you don't
but I'm
know.
so
You're not
hard
sure.
to the right on the agnostic. In other words,
I get it.
like I feel very certain that once my eyes go closed, that's the end. That's the end of the story. And I hearken it back to, what do I recall before I was born? Nothing. So therefore,
I oh man, you sound like me.
and I think you and I are very similar in this, that it's not the fear of being dead that scares me, because I'm not going to know. What scares me is the fear of dying, the process of dying, the getting sick, the wasting, the laying there and waiting for it to end. That's the terrifying mind fucker for me. You know what I mean? And so therefore, if I had and I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable, so if I am, please, I'll shut up.
Oh
But I
no,
mean,
no,
you
no.
know, I think that I wish I could have that go-to that I can say, all right, I'm good, man. It's all going to be good. But I just don't believe that. So that's why I say I'm atheist. But I get what you're saying. I'm a borderline right on the edge, like right. I've got my nose over the finish line into atheism, but there's that tiny little bit of me that goes, yeah, but what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong?
Man, and that's what my dad used to tell me. My dad was Catholic. Well, my family was. I had to do the 8 years CCD and
I didn't do
all
any
that.
of that,
And
but yeah, I know.
yeah, well, my family, I was forced to. You know, would I have made that choice for myself? No, I didn't believe in any of it that back then. And God forbid you say that to your parents. How could you? How could I? How could you? That's my thought. How could you believe in something you absolutely? Yeah, for me, it's I need facts. I need tangible facts, and it's just
science over feels. You know what I mean? It's tough, but what's that?
About them,
who? I
about
don't even know
who?
what that means. No
Yeah,
idea what.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure
what
what
that
you're
means.
talking about,
Can you?
because your first comment was the first albums were the best and most epic. I mean, hey, that's we all have different opinions, and that's very acceptable. But
100%.
I'm not sure what your gynecologist. Okay, that's an interesting. Is that your job description? Gynecologist. Not sure where you're coming from there, but maybe you can respectfully put your thoughts.
Explain yourself.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get back to Mercy being the most, and obviously by the title, are you saying have mercy on yourself, or are you asking for mercy from others?
The song is very specifically written for my wife, who is 16 years younger than I am. So it is, I know I'm going to go before her. And that kind of terrifies me, leaving her alone and leaving her behind. Did I do my job? Is she set up? Is she taken care of? And I just picture that moment of when it comes, the only thing I want to do is be in her arms. And that's when I want to close my eyes. I want it to be like that. But I also know what that does to the person who has to be the one holding you at that time. And it's, I want mercy for her, not for me. I want her to be able to get through that. Okay. Yeah, that's why I said this is the hardest song for me.
I totally get where you're coming from.
It's a hard one to even talk about, but it's now.
I pushed somebody away in my recent last 4 years. I pushed somebody away specifically because I knew that I was probably not going to live to be very old because of this neurological condition I'm dealing with. I'm still here. To be honest with you, Paul, like 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago when we spoke, I didn't think I'd be around to the end of that year. I'm still here. A lot of doctoring, a lot of horrible stuff that I got to go through. I got to go back out to Cleveland, and it's just a pain in the ass. I'm kind of tired of it. The U.S. medical system is kind of a nightmare. But I was getting very close with somebody, and I knew while it was happening, I'm like, no, don't let this happen. Push her away because you don't want her to have to carry water for you when you're unable to go. You don't want to put her in an emotional position to fall in love with you and then have to say goodbye to you a year or 6 months or 2 years later. And so it's very, that's a difficult thing to deal with. You know what I mean? Like that feeling like you're abandoning somebody simply because, but you never really know. I mean, you got to live and probably your therapist say this, you got to try to live your life one day at a time. Because if you project too far into the future, it's just going to eat guys like you and me up that worry about stuff, right? We worry too goddamn much about too much.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do, and we can't control the shit we worry about. Exactly. And that's
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, man, but gynecologist is talking about. I guess your views on the first two albums is what.
Oh, let me re-explain. I don't hate those records. I'm speaking more of musically, and all of that was definitely all sincere. I was so new to what I was doing. I wrote lyrically. Man, I took from Edgar Allan Poe, and I just tried to write romantic poetry. I had no clue what I was doing. So basically what I'm saying is almost none of the songs on the first two albums are really
they're not relatable anymore. They're not relatable.
Or from my heart. No, they were never really relatable to me personally. And I always felt that after time it was if I had something to say, I needed it to have purpose. And some of that stuff on those early albums they serve no purpose for me other than it's a good song. It's what we did at the time. And
I think I get what you're saying, but you got to remember, Paul, how old were you when you did those two albums? In your early 20s?
Oh God, yeah, I was. I mean, we started this band, 1980, 87,
you were a
88,
kid, right?
89.
You're what, in your mid? You're in your mid 50s now, right?
Yeah, I played our first gig when I was in high school.
You're a kid, man. You're a kid writing these lyrics. And I look back, I believe it or not, still have some lyrics I was writing when I was in high school. And they're all like edgy, 9-inch nailsy before 9-inch nails. But they're either one of two things. Like my first band was called Sorcerer's Song. Now, come on. Right there from the name of the band. You know what? I'm already in the Dio, Tony Martin space of, writing these epic, goblins and ghouls type lyrics and stuff like that. And they're kind of laughable now. And you're not that kind of guy. Everything that's come out of you, at least since I would say maybe The Knowing or at least Welcome to the Fade in particular, very personal lyrics, man. I mean, these things are very intensely visceral to you. They mean a lot to you, whether they mean the same to other people or not, it doesn't matter. And what I think I just heard you say is that you're not going to put that stuff out there if it doesn't have some serious attachment to who you are.
To Welcome the Fade is when I had decided that I was going to wear my heart on my sleeve and start writing personal for me. Even the album cover itself, that was right around the time I was diagnosed with my spine disease. So the cover is of that faceless image with just the nails sticking in the spine. It was the pain, and it was at that time I was getting injections in my spine. It was horrible going through it, and that manifested at that time we were writing that record. And I'm like, all I have on my mind is what's going on with this. So this is what I got to do.
And you, we talked about this briefly, but maybe just a moment, if it's not too traumatizing to discuss. You were very overweight at one point in time. I mean, very heavy at one point in time in your life, like scary heavy. Like, man, oh man, this dude might not make it to an old.
I was my peak. I was 400
Did
pounds.
Do I recall you saying you did or didn't get the gastric surgery?
No, I lost it on my own.
Crazy, dude. Like, and not only have you lost it, but you've kept it off, man. You've stayed very slender or fit. I don't know what your workout regimen is or whatever, but you really maintained, and that's not very usual, because most people that have a weight problem tend to fluctuate highly. They go way up, they go way down crazily, then they go way up. It's almost like a manic fight with the thing. How
I had to fix this first, and once you fix this,
but you've been slender now for better part of a decade or more, right?
12 years.
Did you do it mainly through diet?
100% through diet. Because of my spine disease, I can't work out. I can't really do any strenuous workout in that nature. So it was all, it was all diet and lifestyle. I always looked at it and I said, I'm not going to diet, and I'm not going to deprive myself of anything. If I want pizza, I'm going to have pizza, but it's how I eat, when I eat it, the moderation I eat it. For the first, I mean, I lost the first 200 pounds in like a year, because I had lowered my calorie intake. I went a little low. I'll be honest. I went down to like 600 to 1,000 a day. And I was eating like a lot of high protein and food like that.
Meat,
a lot
chicken, fish. Yeah,
absolutely. That wrecked havoc on my hair. I mean, it totally destroyed all that. I was lacking nutrients or whatever, but I lost the weight. And I've learned, because I never looked at it as a diet, when I started incorporating the food that I like back into my diet, I just now know how to control.
Instead of eating a whole pizza, you have 2 slices and you say, all right, that's it. I got to walk away.
You just get a taste. Yeah, you get a little taste of what you want. Drink a nice glass of water before you actually eat, so you're pre-full.
Yeah, I need to learn a little. Yeah. I'm a glutton too often. I tend to eat late at night and then lay down on it, and because of my nervous system condition, that dysautonomia, I cannot work out anymore. I start to, my heart rate goes crazy, my blood pressure goes crazy, and it sucks. I mean, and unfortunately, I'll be 60 in March. So it does not get easier at all. It gets far harder. The pain just from the fibromyalgia and all that stuff it's not tenable for me to go run 2 miles around the block. I need to walk more, but it is tough, man. So I gotta hand it to you, dude. You've done amazingly well, because I'll never forget when, I was seeing you early on around the Novello Reservoir, if I remember correctly, is when you were kind of at your unhealthiest, I think, as far as from just a visual standpoint. I'm like, man, that dude, I don't know if he's going to live much longer if he keeps this up, And then you come back, I think it was around the time of Aphotic, roughly? Or maybe a little after that, maybe?
A little after, yeah. It was a little after. I
remember seeing pictures of you. I'm like, whoa, that doesn't even look like the same human being. Like, whoa, what, is he okay? Then I started thinking, is he okay? Does he have cancer? Is he sick? Or, and so, but congratulations on that. But go ahead and wrap up the rest of the tracks. And I want to hit a couple of quick items. I'll get you out of here in a few minutes.
So then we get into things like the dance and the fool. See, like, the fool is about me being manipulated by a certain person who manipulated me and my child. It's a bit
I can guess who that might be. Yeah.
The dance is about 2 people, basically me and my wife, trying to push all of that negative away. I'm being very vague on some of the stuff. Then you get into things like bleed, static, and chatter, and those are directly related to depression and anxiety. It is the chatter, the noise, and then there's the static, and it's always so loud that you can't, and those are monsters. Those are monsters that just like that you just need to try to control. And unfortunately, I was at a time where, how did I quiet that? I drank alcohol, and I drank a lot, and it got me it got me into the psych ward.
Bad place,
That's
man. Bad,
it's awful. It's awful. So yeah, that's
let me ask you a quick question regarding that, because again, you and I are very similar. We have some very similar psychological personality traits. I think we even established this when we talked the first time around.
Right.
And I don't know if you're the same way, but one of the worst things that I've picked up, more so over the pandemic than ever before, because they utilized it for this, okay? They utilized the pandemic, and I say they as the nebulous they, but you know what I'm talking about, the new world order sort of thing, not to get all conspiracy, because I'm really not that guy, generally speaking, but the doom scrolling. Do you do much doom scrolling?
It's fucked, right? Absolutely.
It's fucked.
Yeah. I'm not even looking at anything. It's just you're killing time until till the next dumb
you're
thing
killing time, feeding your brain with horrible negativity, which is what we do anymore. The news, the 24/7 news cycle is, you never hear anything good. You never hear about, oh, so-and-so did this to save X number of people from cancer, or all you hear about is, blowing Gaza back to the fucking Stone Ages, or Ukraine, or Trump, or just this endless fucking verbal diarrhea that is just nothing but horrible negativity. But I feed into this shit like way too goddamn much. I hate it,
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I'm with you on that, man. It's I did an interview early this morning, and I had said, joking, I said, whoever runs for our country next should run on the slogan, make politics boring again, because politics are fucking boring. We're all good, man. No one's complaining about things. It's just running the way it should,
doesn't it? I mean, there's probably a lot of shit going on in the background that we don't know, and we don't probably want to know, or that we would prefer not to know. But what we're seeing now is just, without getting hyper political, but anybody that watches my show or watches my Instagram knows how I feel about politics currently. And it's kind of terrifying, dude. It's kind of terrifying. We're in my opinion, we are in the very beginnings of the downfall of mankind. Maybe we were always there and we're just sort of circling the drain a lot. But I think social media and the manipulation by people like Zuckerberg and Thiel and all these cognoscenti of tech are literally hell bent on enslaving everyone that isn't a multi-billionaire or millionaire, and they kind of have us there anyways, right? Sadly, to an extent.
Yeah, we're pretty much controlled by our devices, that's for sure. I mean, they've made it so we can't live without them. Try to leave the house.
Yeah, you feel like, oh my God, you have that like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Did I leave it somewhere? Did I forget it somewhere? I mean, like, I was at a show on Saturday night down in Philly, and we went down to the bar afterwards, and we're eating chicken wings and kind of hanging out. And I got in the car, and I guess my cell phone fell out of my pocket down the side of the car, like the inside of my seat and the door jamb. And I was freaking, man. I'm like, oh my God, where's my phone? Like, I was freaking out. I'm like, this is crazy, man. And then I reached down there and found, I'm like, the big relief came over. So it's not cool. I did want to real quick say hello to Terry. Hey, Terry Gorel from Heir Apparent. You know the band Heir Apparent?
Hey, what's up, Terry?
Man. Kind of one of the early Queensryche, Fates Warning, very early Fifth Angel, Seattle bands. I've had Terry. Terry was a victim of abduction as well on my show for like 3.5 hours. So we went over all the Heir Apparent stuff like that. Good to see you, brother. And but go ahead. So finish up.
Yeah, Dusking Day 22. 22 is basically, that's about the 22nd card, the Doom card. And if you listen to it, that's the end of days. That's the song where you pulled that card, it's doom,
Yeah,
everything's over.
What's the hook line in the chorus? Do you remember the lyric off the top of your head? You got to pull it up from your book, don't you?
Yeah, no, I because we're rehearsing. That's one of two songs we're not doing in Chicago in 2 weeks, and so it's not one I've got familiar.
It's something
on the
about
front of
death.
my brain.
Do you have the lyrics there for it? Did you put it away? Oh, you put it away.
No.
Okay, all right. That
yeah, no.
Yeah, the lyric book. What's the?
Here, let me just look at it.
Let me help you out here a minute, Paul.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had one of these things.
What's the chorus lyric? It's something about it's there, but I've also got Ravenous in my, or not. I've got Major Arcana in my head.
In the shadow of a
in
dying
the shadow
star.
of a dying star. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Read the rest of it real quick.
It's in the shadow of a dying star, echoes of the final sun, end of time as worlds collide, trumpet sounds,
Man,
I hear
killer.
It now, which is Gabriel's trumpet, and that's the last line you hear on the album.
End of days, right? Yeah.
Heard Gabriel's trumpet.
That's a killer song. That's the only one I didn't mention. Probably the most dynamic and progressive song on the album, I think, overall.
Yes.
If I didn't notice, if there weren't, it's probably the most complex song too. Lots of killer musical ideas. Another big chorus. Got some cool harmony highs in there. Is that you or is that Larry?
That's me.
Doing all the vocals. Okay. I know Larry sings live a little bit, some of the higher parts. A lot of
yeah, I do. I do all that live. The only stuff on this album vocally that's not me is my daughter growls behind me on 3 songs.
I can tell that. I can tell her tone that there's a female voice in there. Yeah, but this one, I like that the chordal work on this one too. I'm guessing this is probably a Larry song. Maybe not.
Huh. Another one. This might have been one where they joined. I mean, because they do a lot of that and they kind of put stuff together too. So I
realize both Larry and Vito are going to be like, "Hey, fucker, thanks a lot for not knowing."
You know what? That's why you got to get Larry and Vito on, brother. Seriously, these guys can talk this stuff with you all day long.
The nuts and bolts of the songs, but it's a very very strong album, dude. I want to say I was very pleasantly surprised in a good way, because I'm an old school fan, but as I said, I kind of started to drift away a little bit with being inundated with so much other stuff, and this dragged me back in. I'm like, all right, this is cool. And you mentioned it. You've got a show coming up on the 27th, right?
26th, yeah. Friday, September 26th is our record release show.
And you're playing with some other buds of mine, Mother of Graves, Chris, and
Mother of Graves is coming in, and Scars.
Yeah, they're good dudes, man. Great last album by them, the periapt of something. Absence, I think it is. I'm trying to remember. And then you're playing out my neck of the woods, kinda. You're going to be in New York, Brooklyn in October. I'm going to try to make it up.
Right. 10th and 11th, I think. We're doing 2 shows back to back, 2 different venues. Night 1 will be the Pale Haunt retrospective. All right. So we're going to play most of that record that night. And then the second night will be the record release show. So we will play most of the new record that night, and we'll throw in some other songs that, we know.
And then you're also playing MDF in 2026. The first time you've been back there in 5 years?
Yeah, in a few years. So yeah, we're doing that's right. We're doing Maryland Death Fest. We've got some other things we're looking at for Europe next year. We are still planning, which looks like it might be a little later than we wanted to. We're gonna hit the West Coast. We haven't played California, so we're gonna go out there. We're gonna do probably like San Diego and LA, somewhere in that kind of territory. Do 2 shows out there. We're doing the Old Man Tour.
I was just going to ask you, is this an Old Man Tour? Because basically, I mean, is it a matter of your age and you're sort of where you're at in life, jobs, real jobs, day jobs that pay the bills, and just a desire to not be in a fucking van for 4 weeks and not getting sleep and eating properly? Is it a combo of all those things, or
It's life, it's jobs, it is Larry and I are not the best of health, you know what I mean? So I mean that makes traveling really difficult with some of the issues we have. So no, it's to be a touring, full-fledged touring band is not in the cards for us. We can do, go to Europe and we can do a week to 10 days with some things broke. But even at my age, my voice doesn't heal the way it used to after shows. And now I'm including all this screaming fry kind of in everything. So it's harsh. So I got to be careful with that too.
Yeah, Chris makes a really nice point. Mental illness is harder to control these days because it seems like there's no importance. I think what you're trying to say is there's no impetus for empathy, compassion, and fact. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about with regards to the social media thing. The social media sphere is kind of like the bully playground. I mean, if you go in there and you have any kind of a differing opinion from someone else, and I fall prey to it myself. I mean, if you don't fall in line, if something doesn't fall in line with the way you feel about it, you feel compelled to set someone straight or inform them or, somehow sway them to your belief system. And that's where we're at, where we've got these super rich puppet masters that are controlling us, and their whole goal is to keep us down here at each other's throats while they pilfer and take it all and leave us the scraps. Maybe it's always been that way. I mean, there was always the serf and lord, proletariat versus, that kind of thing. I guess maybe some things just are never going to change. As human beings, the older I get, the more empathy I want to have for people, but the harder it is to find that empathy.
I can understand that. Absolutely. It does become difficult. It's hard because, especially with men in mental health, there's a video goes around. I've seen it a bunch of times. It might be staged. I have no idea, but if it is, it's brilliantly done. I don't know if you've seen it. It's that guy sitting there with the spool of wire, and his wife comes in with the keys like, "Oh, what are you doing? What, why are you looking all down?" And he's like, "I was just sitting here and I've got this wire." She's like, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "I've had this wire for 40 years. And when I got it, it was a full roll. And now it's like down to this. This is all I have left of this wire." And he kind of puts his head down and she goes, "Oh, I thought it was because you were wearing your whatever hat." And she made a joke and he kind of stood up and went, "Never mind," and walked away. And I'm like, damn, man, if that's real, not only is that horrible, but I think that's generally how most men are dismissed when they actually try to talk about their feelings. You get dismissed really, really quickly because you have that because you're a man.
Well, exactly. And, we have, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to try to be careful here. We have a current control system, party of control, that wants to go back to all this alpha male bullshit. That you're only good as a male if you're alpha, you're a tough guy, you're a badass, you hunt, you fish, you kill, you provide, you do all those things. And don't get me wrong, those are all altruistic and good things to do, not the hunting part. I'm not down with any of that. But I mean, every man out there is much more of a man if they can be in touch with their feelings, if they can show empathy, they can show kindness, they can show true respect for other human beings, not just women, but other human beings out there. And man, in today's world, it gets harder and harder sometimes to do that and be that guy. The older I get, though, the more I just say, fuck you, man. I don't care what you think of me. You can like I have a troll. He hasn't shown up today, but he's been trolling my live streams the last couple of months because I've been very open about how my medical issues are affecting me physically.
Yeah.
How much trouble I'm having walking now. I can't do anything athletic. Used to be able to run a year ago, I can't run now because of fear of falling. So there's all kind of, dynamics as I'm starting to fade, not to use an analogy here, but as my body is starting to fade, I struggle with it. And on occasion I've come on to the channel. I've said, look, I don't know if I'm just going to wrap this thing up. I'm tired before I even start some of the research for some of the interviews I have to do. I feel sick all the time, blah, blah, blah. And these are things that you can't see. There are things in my brain and in my nervous system you just can't see. And this guy started coming around and, saying I was faking it and I'm grifting. I'm stealing from the government, a system I paid into for 45 years, I might add, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you mean I'm taking back the money on SSD that I paid in? Okay, gotcha. I didn't want to have to do it, but I'm only 2 years away from early retirement anyways. And I had this guy ragging on me and making up fake accounts to attack me. I'm like, you think you could find a better way to spend your fucking day than coming in here and harassing me, dude?
Hey, man, if that's the best thing he's got going on in his day.
Pretty fucking sad, right? That's
absolutely
pretty sad.
Have your fun.
But that's what I'm getting at is that we seem as human beings to get off on cruelty. And in particular with the political, leadership we've got going on right now, that's what's paramount. Is it's about cruelty and getting even and all that kind of stuff, and yet they want to come out as alpha males, and you're like, what's alpha about that, man? When you're dominating someone else and you kick them into the fucking dirt, what's dominating about that? I don't get it. It's kind of sad, right? So
absolutely it is.
Real quick, talk about the 20th anniversary edition of Pale Haunt Departure. I didn't even know about this till I started looking on your Facebook page. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, what's up with this?
And that I don't know if you could see, I have a guest here with me.
Okay. Hey, doggo. What's up, doggo?
That's Leia.
Black Lab.
She's actually she's part wiener and part pit, so we call her the Wiener Pit.
There you go. That works. I had a little bit of a Black Lab vibe. I had Black Labs when I had dogs. I haven't had dogs in a long time. I got a cat. That's about it. So
yeah, we got rescues. We got 4 dogs.
Oh wow, man!
Cat in the basement with my dog. Yeah, it's too many. So
Pale Haunt.
Oh yes, Pale Haunt Departure 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
We have a special edition. It's out on vinyl for the first time ever.
Ooh, I'm gonna grab a copy of that for sure.
And we have a 36-page book edition with that, with a bunch of photos and things. There's some bonus tracks in there. You get some demo versions of some of the songs, and you get a few live versions. We did at a very exclusive private party.
Prophecy?
Yeah, it's out on Prophecy.
Okay, all right.
I do not have that one in my hands to show at the moment.
That's cool. I'll find a link for it and put that in the description. I'm going to grab a copy, obviously. Get that on vinyl for sure.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And that comes out October 3rd, it looks like. Is that right? That's what I'm seeing. You're not sure.
It sounds good to me.
Sounds right. Okay.
I don't know, man.
Now, it does say there's 7 exclusive bonus tracks. Do you know what's on there?
7. Well, 3 are live. 3 are live from an acoustic show. The 3 songs we did from Pale Haunt, and that's never been heard. That's on there. And then I think 4, the original demo, the original Pale Haunt demo was 4 songs. I think.
Okay. Oh, nice.
In the Absence of Grace, a demo. Dark World Burdens, a demo, and like Dark World's a little differently. So yeah, there's a few bonus versions for you guys to listen to.
Awesome. We talked about touring. Let's see. Let me run over my and we talked about the show Chicago 27th, 26th. Yep.
Oh, they see it in the chat. Stonehenge. Yes, Dan Swano mixed this album again. He's done every album for us since the Pale Haunt Departure. So,
yes.
And he's got a really nice forward in the book version of the Pale Haunt Departure. He writes like a page and a half about the importance of this album for his career. It's very, very cool.
I connected with Don finally back last year when the Edge reissue campaign started. I need to get him back on and talk about some of the newer things that have come out, because I think when I had him on, it was for Purgatory, and maybe I forget what the second album was that he put out in that batch. Was it Spectral, maybe?
Crimson.
Remember?
Yeah. Well, I'm on Crimson 2 just came out. I'm on that album. He tapped me to do something for him on there. So I'm on Crimson 2.
Oh, nice. I didn't actually know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't have that one, so that'll be the one I'm grabbing. I've been getting all the Edge reissues because I wanted I picked up Crimson on vinyl and I picked up Spectral on vinyl. Those are like my two favorites. But I'm going to definitely be grabbing the Crimson 2. I've never actually heard that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that'll be kind of cool to check that out. Last couple quick things here. We'll reiterate. You're going to be at MDF in May of 2026.
Yes.
You got that show on the 20. You said the 26th. I thought I saw it was the 27th. Am I wrong?
And I don't know. You're probably right. I am terrible with dates. And
okay. I think it's the 27th in Chicago at Reggie's. Okay, Reggie's. So that should be a good one to go hit. With Mother of Graves out of Indianapolis, I think they are.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Do you know those guys? Do you know them?
My drummer Gary knows them because he's also in Trouble.
Okay.
They had played together, so Gary was the one who introduced us and said they'd be great for the show. So we listened and we're like, oh hell yeah, they would. So
cool, yeah, really cool. If you like old Brave Murder Day era Catatonia, Dance of December Souls, they've got that vibe. Really, really cool. And I did want to ask you real quick about you had a album launch party here this Sunday.
Yeah. We just did a listening party. You know, it for a Sunday night in Chicago that starts at 10 o'clock when people have to work on a Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
It was good. It actually was decent for under those circumstances. That we do it every time, and it's usually it's a small little get together for our closest friends is usually what ends up turning out just to hear the stuff early. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
You also played at Prague Power last Thursday, right? I think.
I played. I did a guest spot with Green Carnation on Wednesday night, and then we had our full set on Thursday. Yes.
How'd that go over? How'd you feel that went over?
Man, I don't want to boast too much about it, but that was one of the best experiences we've had performing, being taken care of at a festival. It was absolutely wonderful from start to finish. And yeah, we had a lot of fun performing at Prague because I never thought a band like us would ever be on a festival quite like that.
Right.
And
Glenn does a nice job. He really He's like the MDF guys. They take care of the bands. They do everything right.
Yeah, they were all amazing. The staff and the crew, they were incredible.
Who was on the same day as you? Do you remember?
Sonata Arctica, Volo. I'm trying to think who was before us. Oh my God. I am not the biggest like power metal prog guy.
Neither am I. Yeah.
I know guys in my band were all over some of these bands and I never heard them before in my life. Not because I just never gave it an opportunity to listen.
Did you stick around into Friday for the rest of the fest or did you guys leave in the morning?
We flew home. We flew home Friday morning.
Because I know the Canadian band Ancients, who gets the Opeth tag a lot too.
Yes.
Played, I think, on Friday, and they're on a pretty major U.S. tour, their first real U.S. tour, and I'm looking forward to catching them. So I'm hoping, I think they're in November, so I'm hoping with my health, I'm hoping I can get up to catch you guys in Brooklyn in October. I hope. I have to sort of take a look at where I'm going to be at financially and whether I can take the stress of, because I don't drive into the city ever anymore. No way.
I don't blame you.
It's too expensive and it's too stressful for my anxiety. I don't want to be on the road doing that. But usually what I do is I drive into Jersey and then I take a train in. And it's a little bit stressful because I'm not very good down on the subway. I always get fucking lost on the subway going out to Brooklyn. So I have to make sure if I go, my buddy, I'm either going to drag him along, who's a New Yorker and he knows the deal, and I just follow. He goes and I follow. I just put my head down and follow. It's like I don't even watch because I'm like, just go wherever Serge goes. And but I'm hoping to get down there. I wanted to ask you about one last thing. I found this out just late last night. A buddy of mine sent this. Falling Leaves, a Jordanian band.
Yeah.
You sing a song, one song, or is it more than one?
How do I explain that project? So I did a song with these guys. They came to me many, many years ago, and I did a guest spot on one of their first album. So they put out a second album, and they wanted me to help them put this album together, and they wanted me to help structure lyrics and things like that and help along. So I went in to help these guys out, and I recorded everything from the growls to the cleans, and I gave them all just like a map to use with what they wanted and what they didn't. So right. Yeah, there's a lot of me. I think most of my clean stuff, all of that is on that record on everything. I think most of the growls were replaced by their singer, which is
because the growls don't sound exactly like you. They so some of them do, but more the clean sort of spokeny word sort of stuff sounds like it's you.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's on the track Craving, or
I know I'm singing primarily. It's just me on Re-Silence, the last song on the record.
Okay, so that first song, Carvings, that's not you, because it sure sounds like you, man.
I do the spoken word. I do the clean singing.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't know. It might be me growling. I have no idea. The guys
they may have used. You're not even sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
And that just came out, I think, on the 4th of September. So
it's a great record. I had a lot of fun. They came to me and they wanted old school doom Paul. So I had to forget about my new kind of stuff I'm doing, and I had to go way back to like a mid and channel that kind of vibe again. So it was challenging and it was fun, and I'm really glad to help out those guys.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope to see you in October. Again, the album is Major Arcana, comes out on Prophecy Productions on September 19th.
Yes. Reggie's is Friday the 26th. I did double check that.
26th. Okay. Yes. All right. Then I had the wrong date. So my bad on that. I thought I saw that on your Facebook page. Paul, it's been great catching up with you again, man. It's been a long time, and let's keep in touch. I hope to make it up to New York, but if not, if it don't make it to the New York shows, I'm almost always at MDF, and you guys and Solitude Eternus are two of the bands I really want to try to catch. Knowing my luck, you won't be on the same day, I'm sure, but when they set this up, I doubt you'll be on the same day, but I only live an hour away, so I can make the drive down for a day and head back home.
I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking Prog Power, because I was going to say I thought we were given our day already.
You may be, but they don't ever. Okay. Even
if I
don't publish that yet.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble, anyways. So, but worst case scenario, I'll try to make it down for that if I can't make these New York dates. I'm going to see Steven Wilson. Do you know who that is?
Oh, absolutely, I do.
So I'm going to see Steven Wilson on Saturday and Sunday of the 4th and 5th, and the 7th in DC. So that's 3 days out of that week. I'm already traveling for shows, driving, and it'll just remain to be seen how I feel. If I feel up to making the drive, New York's just kind of a different animal than going into Philly or DC. It's a lot more stressful, a lot more going on, a lot more expensive.
Yes, it is.
And so that's kind of the only drag about that. But I'm hoping to get down to see it MDF. That'd be cool. Hang on one second. Anything you want to throw out there? Final closing remarks?
Just hopefully if you get a chance to hear this record, you enjoy it. We put a lot into it, and I think it's more accessible. It's not just for a Doom fan. It's not just, I think it is much more of an accessible record, and I think there is something for just about everybody on it. Hey man, even some moms like some of this stuff.
Are you saying this is mom death metal now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying there's a couple moms who have liked Mercy quite a bit. So
ooh, we're gonna get out the lighters and I'll go clean here. They'll be waving the bras around. I won't go with.
I'll take whatever you got. I'll take it all.
All right, hang on one second here, real quick, and everybody, links are in the description. Go check them out. Real quickly, I'm gonna get a collection update in maybe tomorrow night or Thursday because I haven't done one of those in a while, and I've been buying way too much shit, of course, like usual. And also on Friday, I've got the legendary Frank Marino of Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. He's joining me at 11 a.m. And lots of cool stuff. V. Santura from Triptychon coming up. I'm just locking him in. And the guys that wrote Rotting Ways to Misery, Marcus and Kim, looks like that's going to be the 21st. So lots of cool stuff still coming here on the channel. I want to thank Paul for lots of – I held you hostage again, dude. I tried not to, but –
That's okay.
But I appreciate you being cool and hanging in here with me. And you got to talk to Vito and Larry. Maybe get them both on at the same time. We can nerd out on guitar.
They would do it anytime, man.
I will reach out to them. Paul, thanks again very much. Everybody, go check this album out. You can go to Bandcamp and stream Major Arcana, and you have the second single, Ravenous, just came out, right?
Third single. So you can hear the title track, Major Arcana, you can hear Mercy, and you can hear Ravenous. The video for Ravenous just came out. It's a fun throwback to old found footage horror movie.
Awesome. Seriously, man, you got to check out the Ravenous.
I will. I'm going to check. Now that you said that,
Put a little note there. Put a little note, and I'll even send you a link just on your Instagram. You check that at all?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll send you.
I've been looking a lot more lately.
Check it today. Check your DMs because I'll send you a link to Ravenous just to remind you what's going on there. But thanks a million again, Paul. Hang on one sec, all right?
Yeah.